How are you, bro?
Good, bro. I'm 23 tomorrow.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you.
What did you want to talk about today?
So, when I first started, like self-improvement, or like really got into it, I got really consistent, like reading, meditating, journaling, all those habits. But recently, now that, I'm focusing more of my time on like my business and just like more on YouTube and all that, I find it like I'm spending less time on like reading and journaling. And then when I do have extra time, I just want to spend it on my business. And I don't know if it's just me, like my ego thinking that like, it's like, I don't need to like journal right now or something. And so I'm trying to like figure out like, am I like, I don't know, should I just like still like make time to like do all that, or just like focus all my time on like business and stuff?
What do you think?
I want to like make time to like read again, but like also a part of me just wants to like just spend as much time as I can on business.
Yeah, me too. But I will say, an extra hour on business, I am fairly certain is lower ROI than the first hour of meditation, journaling, and reading.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, it makes sense. Especially with like the 80-20 rule.
I go through the same patterns as well, where sometimes I'll go deep into the business work and everything, and I just want to spend as much time as possible. I don't want to waste any time. I wake up and get out of bed and roll onto the computer chair and just start working, stinky like morning breath and everything. I haven't even had a piss yet, just like zoned in. And I actually enjoy those times more. Like, I feel so productive, I feel good about myself. But the 80-20 rule is a law, and it is 100% truth. And just in the last 2 days, recapping the 4-hour work week, I've realized that the first hour of your day, actually, it is beneficial to have that cornerstone of the self-improvement habits. Because let me just tell you from my experience, and this is something I knew even before I became like successful in any way, but I had to just be hit with this realization again. So imagine you've been reaching all of your goals. You lead a movement. Men look up to you. You make more money than you could possibly know what to deal with. You've got an awesome girlfriend. You've got love. Your family life's getting better and better. And really the success of your business is doing amazing, right? So it sounds like everyone's dream life, right? Pretty much everything still feels checked, right? But imagine with all of that, you literally don't even enjoy your life, because one, you're working so much, and two, you're not very mindful, you're not very present, you're not very grateful, and you're not actually doing the things that you love to do the most, which is learning. Because this is how I've just lived for the past like month. I worked really hard. I was working more than 10 hours a day, probably like 10 to 14 hours every single day. And in some ways I enjoyed it because, I like being productive. But in others, I forgot a golden rule that I set for myself 1 or 2 years ago, which was, there's actually no point in building any level of success if you're not going to be present and grateful for it. Like if your mind doesn't work to appreciate the success that you've built, then what's the point of it? So just the question I had to ask myself again, and I realized, okay, well, the point of success is to actually have a better life. But if the pursuit of success starts to lower your life quality because now you're slacking on the things that actually give you a higher ROI for life quality, which is the mental health things and also some physical health ones, then what is the point? Because how many people here would want to be an obese millionaire? He's got all the money in the world, but he's depressed and he's also obese. He genuinely like can't even see his dick. Women are repulsed by him. He genuinely like smells because he can't even deal with the sweat. He has all the money you've ever wanted. Would anyone here take that trade right now? And you can't change, by the way, right? No. You genuinely think about that. You would rather be broke than be fat. Think about that. Everyone's like nodding their heads right now. I agree. So the same thing with mental health. You can be a millionaire, right? You can be a millionaire. But if you're genuinely depressed and you're having panic attacks, would you take that trade? You might think, well, I could like help my family or something, but I think the money you could give to your family would probably be like, it wouldn't equal out the fact that your family are worrying about you now. So those are extreme examples, but these are kind of questions I ask myself, and in the end I always come back down to like thinking mental health is the priority. So you mentioned journaling and reading, Aman. Where's meditation looking like in your schedule?
Meditation, I started again for the May challenge.
Come on.
But with meditating, I got to a point where it's like usually like 90% of the time I'm always present. So like I kind of like made myself think that I don't need to meditate anymore because I'm really good at it. And then the same thing with journaling too. I just thought like, I can just journal in my head throughout the day, so I don't really need to write it down.
Do you know what that's called?
Being arrogant.
Complacency. I already built the success. I can relax now. I already got the girl, so I can start bulking now. I already made the millions, so I can, no one can compete with me, right? So let's party, guys. Alcohol, drugs, late nights, messed up sleep, women. No one's going to be able to take over me, right? I've got the heavyweight champion title. I'm the best fighter in the world, guys. Hookers, cocaine. I don't need to train as hard, right? And then there's your competition who's still doing all of that stuff. I totally understand how you feel, because I've had 3-4 times where I slack on these things as well. I always end up going back because it's only right, there's a transition period, right? It's like, let's say you've made all the gains in the gym and now you're like, oh, well, I'm big enough so I don't need to train. The issue with that is like the muscle starts going away. And you think to yourself, oh well, I'll just do enough to maintain it, but then you kind of like start slacking because it's not important in your life, and suddenly you start losing it. And it's really the same with all of these habits. So you could try to maintain where you're at, but you still need like a regimented routine for that. So you'd still do, for example, 3 minutes of meditation a day, and you still do 2 minutes of journaling per day consistently. Just like if you were maintaining your muscle mass, you'd do it in a systematic way, wouldn't you? You'd think to yourself, okay, I was doing chest for 10 sets per week and I was growing quite well, so I could probably maintain it with like 3 or 4 sets per week. Right now you're saying, okay, yeah, like I've built a really nice physique, now I'm just gonna stop training altogether because my physique's nice. Is that a good idea?
No.
So you've got 2 options. You maintain, so you think about the volume you were doing before and reduce it to like what's called the MEV, minimum effective volume, or MED, minimum effective dose. And you're just trying to maintain. So maintenance is usually about 1/3 of the growth volume, just in general for everything you do. So if you're doing about 10 sets to grow your chest, then about 3 sets per week will maintain it. Roughly, everyone's slightly different, but I like to just go with 1/3, right? So if you're doing 30 minutes of meditation per day and you're growing, you're quite advanced, you've been doing it every single day for like 2 years, to maintain, you probably still need to do about 10 minutes, otherwise your presence will actually start to dip down. You said you don't want to backtrack. So I'd say the 2 options I can see for you, man, is either do the work to maintain and set us like a regimented routine for that, or consider still growing. What do you think?
Probably still growing, if I think about it. Yeah. I don't really want to. I feel like there's like, I still have like a lot of progress to make, even though like I tell myself that I really don't. So I think I'm gonna try like still grow.
I think that's a really good idea. Why don't you try just dedicating 1 hour of your day to these habits? Just 1 hour for all of self-improvement habits all checked off. That's your meditation, your journaling, your cold shower, maybe some kind of social thing, maybe hugging your parents, and there's 3 other random habits you could do. There's visualizations and all these ones. You can limit it to a max of an hour a day. You can still go gym, and you could probably still work for more than 10 hours. And I'm pretty sure from 10 to 11 hours wouldn't have made that much difference in your business. If anything, it'd be probably worth it for you to do the whole 80-20 for the business things, and then reduce the business work down to like 4 to 6 to 8 hours a day, something like that, and have even more time, because you probably will get a higher ROI meditating for 4 hours than you would working for an extra 4 hours on top of like the essential few that you had to do per day.
Right.
Thank you for coming on the call.
Appreciate that.
You're welcome. I appreciate the question.
Thank you.
Take care, man.